we try to avoid the term now because it puts together into one category many different kinds of harmful content that's online. So we make the distinction now between misinformation and disinformation. What is common between them is the information inside is incorrect, not factual, not accurate.
Fake news or false information. Expert now recommended avoiding the term fake news or at least limit its use, as the term fake news is closely associated with politics and this association can unhelpfully narrow the focus of the issue. The term false information is preferable as it can refer to a diverse range of misinformation and disinformation covering topics such as health, environment, and economics across all platforms and genres. While fake news is more narrowly understood as political news stories. The rise of false information. False information is not new. However, it has become a hot topic since 2017. Traditionally, we got our news from trusted sources, journalists, and media outlets that are required to follow strict codes to practice. However, the internet has enabled a whole new way to publish, share, and consume information and use with very little regulation or editorial standards. Many people now get news from social media sites and networks, and often it can be difficult to tell whether stories are credible or not. Information overload and a general lack of understanding about how the internet works by people has also contributed to an increase in fake news or hoax stories. Social media sites can play a big part in increasing the reach of these types of stories.
The common definition of fake news is that they consist of lies, misinformation, and disinformation. So sometimes there are mistakes that are made in the reportage of the media. Some are minor, others are major. The major mistakes would have to do with crucial data as well as analysis that would tend to disregard other aspects of the data that are gathered.
Actually, there are two types of fake news. Fake news that could be based on what we call misinformation, meaning dahil nagkamali yung nagre-report, no, or pwedeng mali kasi yung information na binigay ng source.
So the difference between misinformation and disinformation, in many ways, misinformation is organic. It spreads, it's natural. People will disbelieve some things and that happens, right? Disinformation is orchestrated. It's funded, it's orchestrated, it's planned. In politics, it's run by professionals. So it's run by heads of, prominent PR people and advertising and campaign staff and organized volunteers in political campaigns.
If we're going to combat fake news, we can all contribute by making sure that we do not share fake news. We go out of the way to check that before we click that share button, that we have ourselves verified that this is from a credible source and it can be believed. For me, it's an obligation, especially these days, na parang wag mo na dagdagan yung, di ba, itong proliferation ng fake news. The horrible thing about fake news is it undermines democracy, especially because social media is supposed to be a platform, a democratic platform, where the ordinary citizen can have a voice. The problem is when you put in the fake news and the trolls, they drown out the legitimate voices in favor of paid voices that want to skew public opinion. No? So they want to make it appear that public opinion, let's say, is tilting this way or that. But in truth, it's just a small segment of digital warriors who are paid to deliberately fool people.
We have to be open-minded and level-headed about the information we get. We may have certain beliefs, but if these beliefs are challenged, we have to really analyze what the other side would have to say. If what they say makes sense, then we have to, do some self-reflection. We cannot just accept everything hook, line, and sinker, because the problem with fake news is that it is out there, particularly in social media, along with the truth.
It used to be that we could have a civilized conversation about political ideas. We used to have civilized conversations about disagreements in terms of issues, in terms of values, in terms of ideologies, in terms of candidates. But now the difference here, and what social media and disinformation on social media has done, is it has made the conversation extremely emotional and polarized. So what happens is we've become siloed. We've been trapped in echo chambers of people who only agree with us. And what makes democracy work is that we can look across the aisle and have a decent conversation and find a way to compromise on issues.